Hello, guys and gals, me, Mutahar, and ladies and gentlemen, I know I've been talking a fair bit about Grand Theft Auto, but how can you ignore one of the biggest releases in gaming history, especially a game franchise that, as you all know, I'm kind of a fan of. Now, of course, one of the things that I've been seeing floating around, basically been talking about, people have been saying this for the last 2 weeks, and I've kind of been thinking about it. For the sake of humanity, GTA 6 needs to fail. Now, I would say you probably should touch grass because humanity has a lot more concerns than a simple ball and gun game falling to the wayside. Of course, obviously, I can imagine a game like GTA 6 crashing and burning would be like reliving the release of Cyberpunk 2077. When that game came out, oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, that game was a hyped experience. I hyped it for myself. Everyone hyped it. CD Projekt Red misled people. And, up until very recently, I would say that it was a game that obviously was very broken at launch. Now, do I expect Rockstar to have that level of carelessness when releasing a game? Probably not. GTA 6 really needs to fail. It's pioneering so many horrible things for the gaming community. And I would actually say, to be honest with you, probably. Strauss Zelnick just said that, again, a lot of people were pre-ordering the $100 Ultimate Edition version of the game. And, for a lot of people who will say, listen, that's a really negative thing, nobody should be pre-ordering, it seems like statistics have shown, even to some of the bigger people over at IGN, yeah, I'm in this group of GTA 6 pre-orders. I'm part of the problem, lol. But I've waited so dang long for this that I want the full experience. Now, I have not pre-ordered this game on PlayStation 5 or Xbox, as you all know. I really have been kicked in the nuts with the physical content, but I just don't understand the concept of pre-ordering a game digitally when you know that they're not going to run out of files. Like, unless they somehow do run out of digital downloads, that will be something that I would consider far more poignant and discussive to talk about in comparison to GTA. How do we run out of digital downloads is the question. But anyways, again, all of this stuff aside, look, I'm a fan of Grand Theft Auto, and I'll just say it right now, I think a lot of the stuff that's been happening the last 4 weeks regarding this game has been kind of it's been kind of annoying to watch, okay? This is the kind of stuff that Rockstar Games is doing is something that I would have ripped apart Ubisoft, EA, and Activision for. So I can't, for the life of me, look at Rockstar Games or Take-Two any differently. Now, for full context, do I think GTA 6 is going to be a bad game at launch? Absolutely not. I think based on the 2 trailers that we've seen, the amount of polish that's been going into this game probably rivals that of any other Rockstar game released. The fact that it's taking in an entire state, the state of Leonida, I think we're about to get a single-player experience that is probably as good, if not better, than Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. To give you an idea about why GTA is such an important franchise to me, when I was younger, one of my first gaming experiences watching older cousins was them playing the top-down version of GTA 1. I thought that game looked cool as fuck. I couldn't get access to it. The only way that I did play GTA 1 for a while was I went to Rockstar's classic websites with all the old jokes and everything, downloaded the original 4 demos, and probably played the ever-loving shit out of them. It wasn't until the PlayStation 2 that I actually ended up getting a game called Grand Theft Auto 3 and just being blown away by the fact that I was able to drive vehicles, go on rampage murder sprees, play this story that I couldn't understand, a game that was actually very difficult for a kid at the time and did not age well, still blew me away. GTA 3 was an amazing time. Vice City, an amazing experience, but it wasn't until San Andreas and just looking at that whole map and the fact that you not only got one city in the game, but you got to drive to other cities throughout the course of this epic campaign where you were going and avenging your imprisoned brother. You were literally going into Area 69 and stealing jetpacks. You were doing casino heists. You were stealing cars in San Fierro. You were running gangs in Los Santos. That kind of an experience is something that I still have yet to relive. It's a very important memory for me. Honestly, one of the first things that I ever did on my channel was talking about video game creepypastas, things like Jeff the Killer, Sonic.exe, Ben Drowned, all of that stuff. And the actual catalyst for that was always something like San Andreas. There were locations in that game beyond the three cities, like Baco Beyond, where I would just go around and roam on a Friday night after I finished all my homework, looking for Bigfoot. Bigfoot never existed, but as a kid, you know, you hear about stories that you see on like internet forums, and you watch YouTube videos in crusty 144p of people putting the X-Files soundtrack and exploring for Bigfoot. It's why GTA 6 is so important to me. It's why GTA as a franchise matters a lot, right? And to see the actions that are taking place actually really hurts. And I'll explain something that's been kind of hitting me in the head here. I don't want GTA 6 to fail, but at the same time, I do want GTA Online actually to fail in this case. I actually want Rockstar to have to pivot away from some of the worst decision making that I've seen. You know, looking at the physical disc fiasco, I'm not going to harp on this too much. Obviously, as you all know, Sony is not making physical discs anymore. Neither is Rockstar. Now, there's a part of me that thinks maybe there was a collaborative effort between both of these companies, Take-Two and Sony rather, to really usher in the first digital-only game that was almost unavoidable. For a lot of gamers, you know, boycotting a game is not going to be easy. You know, back when Hogwarts Legacy was being boycotted, how great did that boycott work? Not at all. This is a situation where the average normie is going to buy the fuck out of this game. I would not be shocked if digital pre-orders are so high for GTA 6 that they've already beaten GTA 5's launch numbers already. Like, this game's already made like $1 billion+. I wouldn't be shocked. But that's not necessarily a great thing. First off, I don't understand why people are pre-ordering digitally. I got the pre-orders physically. I understand that because, yeah, physical copies do run out. You know what's ironically funny? A physical copy of a game that I wanted, Oblivion Remastered on the Switch 2. You know, this is like actually rare to get now on physical because I guess not enough existed. And as you can see, it's not a game key card. I'm a fan of physical ownership when it makes actual sense. You know, for GTA, what's important is, as you all know, Grand Theft Auto is a franchise with soundtracks, right? Licensed music. And the licensed music is a pretty huge part into the vibe of each game. Now, GTA 5 is so old that even before its successor, it's already getting music removed. GTA 4 has had entire radio stations gutted. GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas have all been nuked of really important music. And it isn't unless you actually have the physical copies of each game, which I do, that you can put them into appropriate hardware or just stick them into a computer to emulate and play. When I play through San Andreas again, it's never the PC version with mods. It's usually my original PlayStation 2 disc that I back up to my computer, and I run it through I run it through PCSX2. You know, maybe I crank up the resolution to like 1080p, grab a controller, crack open a beer, and just play it on my TV. That's how I play San Andreas about every year, right? That's kind of the way that I do it. I get the original soundtrack, just the game that I remember, and that's pretty much all I ever need. If I want to mod the game, yeah, I've got the PC version, but that's a whole different story. Same thing with GTA 4. If I want to play through GTA 4, I get my complete edition, put it into my old PlayStation 3, grab me a nice controller, crack open a beer, and listen to Vladivostok FM without the game butchering it with patches. I even recently played through GTA 5 and I was like, damn, this game holds up pretty well on the old Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. So yeah, the physical copy for GTA 6 was going to be important because, for one, I would actually like to own a copy of the game where it's all on disc in a certain pristine state. I also would have loved going to a midnight release for a game that, you know, was more than a code in a box. Midnight releases, for anybody that hasn't lived through or experienced it, back in the days of the old Xbox 360, Halo, COD, Gears, Grand Theft Auto, midnight releases were where you could go out, wait in a line, sometimes in the cold, but it didn't matter because, you know, you'd have a hot cup of coffee, you'd talk to some random people here and there, you'd make a friend, and then you'd pick up your copy, you'd come home, you'd stick it into your console, you'd crack open a drink, play it for an hour or two, and then fucking pass out, and then play it the next day. I don't know, man. Those kind of experiences being taken away are something that hurts me more than seeing the direction Rockstar is taking. Now, going into GTA 6 in the future, right, there's been a lot of hoopla and talk about is GTA 6 going to actually have like online at launch? You know, I've seen people like Jason Schreier talk a lot about why the Netflix partnership makes a lot of sense with Rockstar. You know, I really wish these game journalists didn't need to fucking like treat me like a child and tell me, yeah, you know, when a company like Rockstar gets an offer and a big bag from Netflix, yeah, no shit, companies will say yes because they're making money. But at the end, I think it's a bad precedent to have a paid for trailer, which, you know, even if it's 6 hours, just the fact that, you know, Strauss Zelnick is telling people, yeah, you probably want to like get a Netflix account just to watch our extended look. I mean, dog, we're watching gameplay for a game, okay? Now, I know the Rockstar release cycle. Yes, Rockstar plays their cards close to their chest. This is not my first release. GTA 5 had a gameplay trailer relatively close to its launch. Red Dead 2 had 2 gameplay trailers relatively closer to its launch. But GTA 6 is one of those games where I know at its core it's going to be a game where you steal cars and shoot people and drive around a very, very well-detailed city. But I'd still love to see what gameplay they're carrying over. And this is where I'm a little bit more hesitant. Now, if you actually look at the Rockstar release timeline, back in GTA 4, Days 2008, we got Grand Theft Auto 4 and we got Midnight Club Los Angeles. So again, Midnight Club, a game that I think is a very good title. I love the Midnight Club games, racing around, upgrading my vehicles, getting new cars, doing those races. Yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto, except I can't get out of my car, but its vibes are immaculate. I enjoy it, all the way back from the PS2 days. So the year after GTA 4 comes its 2 expansions, which these are single-player DLCs, The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. And I'll tell you right now, expansions alone, they could have just been their entire GTA titles by themselves, standalone products. You know, back then, Rockstar did release single-player expansions that were entire games almost. You know, if you looked at CD Projekt Red, Rockstar was up there alongside Bethesda in releasing decent, quality downloadable expansions. Now the only thing we get is like maybe an update worthwhile to like GTA Online, and that is if that update doesn't nerf a bunch of things that are actually providing players some value outside of pinching you down just to make you buy a shark card. Rockstar then released Red Dead Redemption 1, which was one of my favorite games of 2010. In fact, it was basically the favorite game of people in my high school. They released Undead Nightmare, which was a zombie expansion that added horde mode into the actual multiplayer that I played countless hours of. 2011 comes by and they have LA Noire, which I bought for my PlayStation 3. Absolutely fucking love that game. Max Payne 3 probably wasn't a big seller, but let me tell you something, one of the best third-person shooters of that year. And then of course GTA 5 comes, and while GTA 5 was great, very innovative, absolutely holds up to this day, there's still games in the open world genre that don't match the level of quality and immersion modern day Los Santos brings you. But then waiting like literally 6 years to get access to like Red Dead Redemption 2 is something that honestly does kind of suck to see. Like, Rockstar went from a company that was releasing a quality game year over year, not even just GTA games, but Midnight Club, Bully, Manhunt, all of these other titles. And now we're going from Red Dead 2, and again, all the way to GTA 6, right? I think a lot of the important factor for Rockstar at this point is how successful the online is. Now again, when you look at the monetization for GTA, I don't want to just harp on the fact that the Ultimate Edition costs $140, right? Yes, it's expensive, but you want to know what's insane? The same company, 2K, under the same umbrella, releases NBA 2K27. And you know what's wild? The Ultra Edition for that shit is like $200. The Deluxe Edition is $130. And mind you, these games are just like roster changes for the most part, okay? So really, the sports gamers are the ones that ultimately accept the biggest level of fisting. GTA 6 alone is at least high quality enough to be somewhat worthy of that price tag. Now, am I excited that a game company like Rockstar is pricing the game at a standard edition and then effectively locking away, even if it's a meaningless amount of content, to a $20 expensive edition simply because it makes them more money? No, I'm not comfortable with that whatsoever, but it's unfortunately a world that gamers have sort of normalized ever since the days of horse armor. It doesn't make it right, but it's a battle that we lost long before GTA 6. Now, where GTA 6 is really going to fucking drive me insane is how monetized the online is. I think the future of Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be towards monetizing it in terms of the UGC, in terms of its live service. If you guys don't know, in the last couple of years, Rockstar ended up acquiring CFX, which are the guys that literally make 5M. Now, 5M is basically the PC version's like exclusive online feature where you can download a separate client and you can play a version of GTA Online that allows users to have private servers much larger than just a 32-player count, entirely new game modes, role plays, so on and so forth. Now, I expect when Rockstar acquired this, that this content is at some point, and one of the reasons why I think GTA 6 was even delayed by a year was that the integration of a 6M is going to be something that Rockstar is looking at for GTA 6. Now, a lot of people have kind of said, oh, but Rockstar might release GTA 6 online a year later, which I don't fucking buy, okay? I don't believe it. The guy behind Rockstar, Strauss Zelnick, even though this guy doesn't play video games, okay, self-admittedly, this man is a business legend, okay? This guy is about to be behind one of the largest entertainment launches. And if you think that he's not going to make GTA Online a priority, you'd be sorely mistaken. GTA Online is going to be the exact reason that Rockstar wants to release 6. I don't think they care so much about the single player. I think ultimately, a month after GTA 6's release, I expect GTA Online 2 to be a thing. And this is where, I've joked around with saying maybe they're going to be brave enough to either consider selling the whole package separately. Maybe, just maybe, they'd be crazy enough to consider charging a monthly fee because, it's an MMO. Maybe they can get away with it like World of Warcraft or fucking Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 14 Online. You have to buy those games and then a monthly subscription, and maybe Rockstar could get away with that. Maybe the ball and gun gamer will actually pay a monthly fee. But I don't think Strauss Zelnick is willing to give up the player base that is already buying shark cards and split that up. In reality, I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, GTA 6 will probably have a shit ton of monetization. I think that if you already thought GTA Online alone was not giving you enough money for the content that they have, if you thought the cars and the homes and all that shit were expensive already, I think the grind GTA 6 will provide will absolutely put GTA 5 online and pale that shit in comparison. Looking at something like Red Dead Online, I feel like when that game dropped, the monetization was already nasty. I recently loaded up Red Dead Online, and the wildest part about it is, forget the fact that some of the shit in that game is expensive as fuck, like weapons. The fact that they have multiple currencies like gold, which either Rockstar grants you a little bit here and there, or maybe gives you like a few bars. The fact that unlocking entire paths and like jobs required a paid currency, not to mention also giving you multiple battle passes, outlaw passes to sort of grind, ultimately for content that really wasn't befitting a fucking Western heist game is insane. Playing Red Dead Online, the fact that that game is incomplete, I don't even think the core storyline is finished. And the fact that they don't even have a heist in that game. Imagine Red Dead Online not having a fucking heist simply because it makes way less money than GTA Online. It really shows you the priorities of this company, right? Look, Red Dead will probably never get its heist, and it'll probably never get a storyline expansion. It'll probably never get Undead Nightmare 2. And I suspect GTA 6 to also follow in. I don't expect Rockstar to be making single-player expansions anytime soon. I expect everything going into the future for this entire franchise to focus exclusively on the online. And I don't think GTA 7 is going to come out anytime soon. I think the wait between GTA 6 all the way to its next release will also involve, hopefully, another release, another IP that Rockstar will touch. But even just to release 7, it's going to be a lot more time that we wait. And again, I think a lot of that comes with the fact that every single release that Rockstar wants to do has to effectively destroy and reshape the future of gaming expectations, which is great. I appreciate the quality. I don't mind that at all. But honestly, I feel like if online wasn't as successful, would we live in a day and age where Rockstar releases GTA 6 and we could have gotten another GTA or maybe a few other GTA games before GTA 7, where we could actually look at places like Las Venturas or San Fierro or Carcer City or other locations running on the GTA 6 engine. You know, kind of like what we got with GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Would we have gotten another Manhunt 3? Would we have gotten Bully? Would we have gotten something else? It's a lot of would we's that I do. But unfortunately, I feel like going into the future, because of how successful GTA 6 will be, and I imagine the online will also be successful, provided they don't over monetize it, I think the future of expecting anything player friendly is nothing but a fleeting wish. And again, look, I only say this because I give a fuck about GTA 6. I'm not being negative for the sake of negativity, okay? I don't really enjoy that. But at the end of the day, I feel like looking at the discourse where either people want this shit to fail or people say cringe stuff like GTA 6 isn't just a fucking game, it's an experience, is the kind of stuff that makes me cringe beyond a shadow of a doubt, okay? You guys are hyping a game up that you have not seen the gameplay of yet, okay? I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. But I really feel like I'm more concerned about how monetized this experience is going to be. And the only way we're ever going to figure that out is come like November, December, and we actually log into GTA Online 2, or even, God forbid, we sign into GTA single player and we just see that microtransactions or shark cards have kind of bled into the actual in-game single player. Imagine if there's like hundreds of stores in Vice City and there's tons of cosmetics and Rockstar keeps adding them to the single player. Imagine if Rockstar, because now they don't have a physical disc, everyone assumingly will be connected to the internet when they're playing this game. Imagine if you don't have money in the single player to buy a property or a car or like a fucking piece of clothing, and Rockstar's like, hey man, you want to buy a shark card in single player? I mean, I don't know, man. I think looking at the priority of this company and where they're headed is something that obviously I'm not a fan of, and I don't think many longtime people are a fan of. Even looking at the new community of Rockstar gamers who have only started playing since GTA 5, to see the amount of people who are a little bit saddened that the game is launching without the online because it's supposed to be a single player experience first and foremost is also shocking to me. I don't know. I feel like a longtime fan of something that has just kind of turned into like this media corporate friendly nonsense. This is not the same like GTA that I grew up with, obviously. But I don't know. It's just something that's been hitting in my head. And hopefully I'm wrong on a lot of things. I really hope so. I hope GTA 6 may drag Rockstar towards a direction where they keep making more games other than GTA or other than Red Dead. And I say Red Dead because it's literally the only other IP they worked on. But I don't know. That's where I'm at. But if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.